The 2024 election was arguably the most consequential in American history. Donald J. Trump, the 45th president, sought to reclaim the White House after a tumultuous 4 years out of office. His opponent, Vice President Kamala Harris, carried the banner of the Democratic Party, promising unity and a return to normalcy. The campaign was brutal, exposing deep divisions within the American electorate. Trump, energized by his fervent base, tapped into a wellspring of anger and resentment. He railed against the deep state, the media, and the radical left, painting a picture of a nation in decline. Harris, meanwhile, struggled to inspire voters, her message of hope and healing drowned out by the cacophony of Trump's rhetoric. On election night, America held its breath. The results were closer than many had predicted, but ultimately, Trump emerged victorious. He had won the Electoral College, and for the first time in his political career, the popular vote. The nation was split, with Democrats reeling from their defeat and Republicans jubilant. Trump's victory speech was a mix of triumphalism and threats. He vowed to make America great again, and to crush his opponents. The message was clear: Donald Trump was back, and he was here to stay. Few issues were as central to Donald Trump's political identity as immigration. His first term was defined by his hardline stance on the issue, and his second term promised more of the same. Trump campaigned on a platform of zero tolerance for illegal immigration, vowing to build a wall along the US-Mexico border, increase deportations, and ban Muslims from entering the country. Upon taking office, Trump moved swiftly to implement his agenda. He signed executive orders authorizing the construction of the border wall, ramping up immigration enforcement, and banning travel from several Muslim-majority countries. The administration also implemented a zero-tolerance policy at the border, separating families and detaining children in cages. These policies were met with widespread condemnation from human rights groups and Democrats, who accused Trump of cruelty and xenophobia. Protests erupted across the country, and legal challenges were filed against the administration's actions. However, Trump remained defiant, insisting that his policies were necessary to protect national security and American jobs. The impact of Trump's immigration policies was immediate and far-reaching. The number of undocumented immigrants living in the United States declined, as did the number of people attempting to cross the border illegally. However, the human cost of these policies was immense. Families were torn apart, children were traumatized, and the United States' reputation as a beacon of hope for immigrants was tarnished. Donald Trump's economic policies were as unconventional and unpredictable as the man himself. He eschewed the advice of traditional economists, embracing protectionist measures like tariffs and trade wars. Trump argued that these policies were necessary to protect American jobs and industries from unfair foreign competition. One of Trump's first acts as president was to withdraw the United States from the Trans-Pacific Partnership, a trade agreement negotiated by the Obama administration. He also imposed tariffs on goods imported from China, Canada, Mexico, and the European Union. These actions sparked retaliatory tariffs from other countries, leading to a trade war that roiled global markets. The impact of Trump's economic policies was mixed. The unemployment rate remained low, and the stock market continued to climb. However, the trade war led to higher prices for consumers and businesses, and economic growth slowed. Farmers, manufacturers, and other industries reliant on exports were particularly hard hit. Trump's economic policies were a gamble, and it remained to be seen whether they would ultimately benefit or harm the American economy in the long run. His supporters argued that he was a savvy negotiator who was playing hardball to get the best deals for the United States. His critics, however, warned that his policies were reckless and would ultimately lead to economic ruin. Donald Trump's disdain for government bureaucracy was no secret. He campaigned on a promise to drain the swamp in Washington, D.C., and to roll back the size and scope of the federal government. Upon taking office, he moved quickly to make good on these promises. Trump appointed a cabinet filled with individuals who shared his deregulatory zeal. He issued executive orders requiring federal agencies to eliminate 2 regulations for every new one they created, and he imposed a hiring freeze on federal employees. He also targeted specific agencies for budget cuts, including the Environmental Protection Agency, the Department of Education, and the Department of Housing and Urban Development. These actions were met with cheers from conservatives and libertarians, who had long argued that the federal government was too big, too powerful, and too intrusive. However, Democrats and progressives warned that Trump's efforts to dismantle the federal government would have devastating consequences for the environment, public education, and social safety net programs. The long-term impact of Trump's efforts to shrink the federal government remained to be seen. However, his actions represented a significant shift in the balance of power between the federal government and the states, and they were likely to have a lasting impact on American society. In this chapter, we delve into the controversial decisions and actions that have sparked debates on whether they were driven by a quest for justice or a thirst for revenge. Some argue that these moves were necessary to uphold the law and maintain order, while others believe they were fueled by personal vendettas and political motivations. The line between justice and revenge has often seemed blurred, raising important questions about the true intentions behind these actions. As we explore these events, consider the perspectives of both sides and the impact they have had on the public's trust in the legal and political systems. Throughout Donald Trump's life and career, there have been numerous key moments and influential players who have shaped his journey. From his early days in business to his rise in politics, each milestone has been marked by significant events and pivotal individuals. These moments and players have not only defined Trump's path, but have also had a lasting impact on the broader landscape of American society and politics. Donald Trump has faced a myriad of legal challenges throughout his career, yet he has consistently displayed a defiant attitude. From lawsuits and investigations to impeachment trials, Trump's legal battles have been numerous and complex. Despite these challenges, he has maintained a resolute stance, often framing these legal issues as politically motivated attacks. This defiance has become a hallmark of his public persona, reinforcing his image as a fighter against the establishment. Public reactions to Donald Trump's actions and policies have been deeply polarized, reflecting a nation divided. Supporters view him as a champion of their values, while critics express significant anxieties about his approach to governance. This split has led to intense debates and widespread protests, illustrating the profound impact of his presidency on the American psyche. The anxieties surrounding his leadership have sparked conversations about the future direction of the country. As Donald Trump navigates the uncharted waters of a potential second term, the nation stands at a crossroads. The uncertainties and possibilities of what lies ahead are vast, with many wondering how his leadership will further shape the political and social landscape. This period is marked by both anticipation and apprehension, as the country prepares for the next chapter in Trump's unprecedented political journey.